guys, what is going on? Trophy Hunter here, and today we are going to be reviewing the ultimate Armoured Lost Predator released by NECA in celebration for the 30-year anniversary of Predator 2. Hard to believe, 30 years since the second Predator film. That's incredible, and it's still a well-loved classic of the Predator franchise. Some people argue that it is the last of the best films, which, my own personal opinion, I don't mind Predators. I do enjoy the film for what it is. The Predator we don't talk about, but the Predator 2 brought a whole new game to the Predator. With Predator 1 based in the jungle with guerrilla fighters with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator 2 in the city. It's much more personal, much more bloodier. It's just overall a brilliant film. If you haven't seen Predator 2, I would recommend you go and watch that film. Absolute classic, brilliant film. So, Armoured Lost, or Borg, as he was actually referred to in the film, is part of the Lost Tribe Predators, which is the clan that the City Hunter is from. But he's very interesting because he's not just part of that tribe. He's actually also part of the Rogue Space Tribe, which consists of the Spiked Tail Predator and the Laser Shot Predator. Now, something that you'll see as the reviews go on, this Predator does somewhat stand out when compared to his clan brothers, and is that he's very futuristic, he's very cyborg-like, hence the name Borg. But his role in the Rogue Space Tribe is really because of his technology. He's futuristic, whereas the other Predators are very primal. Whilst technologically advanced, they use standardised weapons, so your wrist blades, plasma caster, so it's very basic when you compare it to these Predators. However, that is bound by their code of honour. The Rogue Space Tribe, as the name suggests, they're not a tribe that many accept. They actually are a bad blood tribe. Mainly due to the fact that they do use technology a lot in their hunts, and that is often frowned upon by Predator Society, or Yautja Society as I should properly be naming them. So yeah, he's quite an interesting one. So, something else I also want to mention is that this isn't the first release of the Armoured Lost Predator that NECA have done. They did do a first wave of him, but this guy's got a massive tune-up for the 30-year anniversary. He's had a lot more detail added to him, a lot more accessories added to him, as the case with all of the other Predator 2 Predators. This guy, he doesn't come with a lot of accessories when compared to his clan brothers. Some of the others do feature a lot more accessories when compared to him. However, I find that with this figure, he doesn't need a lot. With the accessories that he does come with, it does work well. The key one being his sword, which I will actually be getting onto in the review. So, yeah. He prices for around £40 in the UK, $35 in the US, respectively, which is the average for the ultimate line of Predators that NECA are releasing. Out of all the Predators in this line, at the recording of this video at least, he's probably my favourite. So let's get right in and show what this Predator has to offer. Hey guys, sorry for taking a little bit longer in order to get into the review, but as I was editing this video and adding in all the pictures and whatnot, I did notice there was a little problem in the NECA box art. Now, on the back of the box, it states everything that the Predator comes with, but at the bottom it states that there are 2 interchangeable hands. Now, it might be an oversight from NECA, or it was changed, the Predator design was changed before final release. However, when you look inside the box, there are 3 interchangeable hands, plus the 2 that are attached to the Armoured Lost Predator in the first place. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out in case anyone thought, oh, hang on a minute, Trophy, you've got 3 hands there, but it only says 2 on the back of the box art. It's fine. I looked at it. The box comes with 3 hands. It must have been a mistake from NECA. Someone might have just overlooked it, or it was originally meant to come out with only 2 interchangeable hands, and then they later changed it to 3. Okay, sorry for taking up your time. Hope you enjoy the review. So here he is in all of his glory, the Armoured Lost Predator. Now, this is what you get in the box. As you can see, a couple of accessories, not as much as when compared to his other clan brothers. He only comes with 2 that will attach to him, which we will get onto. But something that I will like to have a look at is this. Now, something NECA haven't done is that they have released 2 unmasked head sculpts, which is quite unusual for NECA. Like, with the likes of Golden Angel, he had his unmasked plus 2 separate biomasks. So it's quite unusual for them to release the 2 unmasked head sculpts. But nevertheless, I love this. This allows for you to pose this character in a number of ways. You can pose him in the biomask, which is how I have him now. Now, I do have one little gripe with these figures. And that so happens to be is that the joints are quite stiff. Now, I don't know if there's a way of making them more malleable. If there is, please let me know. But I find that if I'm trying to take this helmet off, I feel as though I'm going to break the peg joint that it's attached to. So that's something just to keep in mind, that these joints can be quite stiff, so you want to be quite firm but gentle when it comes to taking off his hands and his head. So let's just take a closer look. Now, I love, like, this is, out of all of the head molds, this is probably my favourite. Don't think we've ever had a open mandible head sculpt before. But he's got a good amount of detail in him, even into his mouth, where you can actually, I don't know if the camera's picking this up very well, but you can actually see the texture in his mouth, as well as little tusks and teeth that are attached to his lower mandibles. So this allows for a little bit more customability and posability when it comes to displaying him. So you can have him as I have him here. You can have him with the opened mandibles, or you can have him closed. Now, I know some people might just want to display him like this, which is fine. You know, a lot of people enjoy the closed tusked predators. So head sculpt's very pretty much the same as this. It's just closed mandibles, but it does allow you to play about with him a little bit more and display him however you want. Now, he also comes with 5 hands, 2 of which I have attached here. So he's got a grabbing arm, which I am positive is what you use with a shuriken. You have a closed fist, which if you have any spare spears, you can probably slot that in here. Or you can also have him so that he's holding his sword two-handed. And you also have this. So this one's very similar to his left hand. You can have him so that he is reaching out to grab something. I typically try and display as many of my figures with this hand. I think it looks a lot cooler. Kind of more reminiscent of the original Jungle Hunter. But it's everyone's preference. You can display him however you want. One thing I will also mention is if you're going to display him in any action figure poses, I would recommend, which is something I don't have here, I really need to get them, are the NECA base plates. That will give you more stability in the figure and allow you to display him however you want so that he doesn't fall over. I do find that some of the Predators, one in particular that does my boxing, the Alpha Predator, that's probably due to his foot molds, they can struggle a little bit when it comes to posing and standing because
there's not enough surface area down here in order to support them. But if you're just displaying him like this, you shouldn't have a problem. Now, let's have a look. So this is a shuriken. As you can faintly see here, he's got a shuriken closed right here. This is it when it's opened. Now, if memory serves me right, I think we've only ever had one other Predator feature the shuriken, which would be the Scar Predator from Alien vs Predator. He was trained to use shurikens. So I love the fact that they've brought this back. For those who are a fan of those Predators, I think this is a very, very cool addition. Now, I'm positive there is a way of actually having him hold this. I've actually not quite sussed this out. I'm positive one of his hands is able to hold this if you angle it right. Maybe that one? This isn't something I typically display him with. I typically display them with this guy. So this is a sword. Now this is probably one of the main features of this Predator, is that he comes with this. Now, if you go back to the Golden Angel Predator, which I actually just have over here. Let's bring him in. Now, for those who don't know, I will be doing a review on him in the future, but Golden Angel is a younger version of the Elder Predator. But let's take a look at his sword. Pop him to the side. Now, you can see the big difference in both of these swords. This one is a one coherent piece, doesn't detach or anything. This has a separate piece that it comes with. Now, I like the sword, but I feel like this just ruins it. If NECA had released it as a solid piece like this, I think this sword would be a lot cooler. But this piece is the tip of the blade, as you can see. And as you can see, it's very flimsy and it's easily bendable and breakable. So you have to be really careful when you're posing him with the sword. So I'm glad NECA upped their game and they made it one full piece. So let's just get him out of the way. So this guy actually fits onto the Predator himself. So this is something I will be looking into. So he slots just in this sword holster here on the back. Now he fits in fairly well. It's quite a snug fit. But it also means that you can only insert this in one direction. So you can't insert it like this because it just won't fit. So it has to go with the red part of the blade facing the plasma caster. So something just to keep in mind. If you try and force that, you're probably going to end up ruining the back part of this figure. Okay, so now we've got the accessories out of the way, let's take a look at the main guy himself. We'll just start at the top and work our way down, just pointing out little features that this Predator does have. So we'll start off with this biomask. Now, I love this. I love this biomask. I don't think in the original release we actually saw what his biomask looked like. I think he only came in his unmasked form. So I quite like how NECA have featured what his biomask would look like, which fits in with the rest of his armour. Now, one of the best features I find with this figure, this is probably why it's my favourite, is that there's a little button just on the top of his biomask, just right there. If you press it, as you can see, his eyes light up, and it's quite a bright red. The light's dimming it a little bit, but they are really, really bright. Now, I love that feature. It brings a lot more depth to this figure. It also allows you to pose him with these lights on. He looks a lot more badass, which is just awesome for me. Just to switch it off, you hit that button again. You can slightly see it, but NECA have done it in such a way so that it fits in with his design. So it's not overly noticeable. Like with the Hot Toy figure, I do have Tracker here actually. If I just bring him over. Don't know if he'll fit. So let's just move him. Yeah, I knew he was not going to fit here. I'll just lift this up a bit. So with Tracker, his LEDs light up here, and in order to activate them, they're hidden on the back using a little light switch that does fit in with his armour. So I'm quite happy that that NECA have made it so that you can't see the light switch. It is actually blended into his armour. So very, very cool design. Now let's go into the plasma caster. So this isn't typical plasma caster. This is very different. This is very futuristic, very robotic cyborg, hence his name. Now, as much as I love this plasma caster, I do find that there are problems with it. And one of the main problems that I find with it is that it's very limited in its movement. When you compare it to likes of the Jungle Hunter, Golden Angel, those types of predators, you can move the plasma caster around a lot more. There's a little bit more flexibility. This guy, it feels flimsy to me almost. And it's only attached via ball joints. The plasma caster's on a ball joint. This part's also on a ball joint. So you can move him around, but you can't really move him out, which can be posing a problem if he's trying to shoot something way over there. So, something to keep in mind. But I love it when you put it away almost, it blends into the rest of the plasma caster, so it's almost not noticeable. Of course, a little red firing port here will probably give it away. But I also love the added chrome silver here. It just helps bring it out a little bit more. It doesn't have it all the same colour and just bland. So that's a very, very cool plasma caster design. And it does fit in with his rogue space tribe, who, if you don't know, are very technologically advanced. They use a lot of technology in their hunts, which is often frowned upon from the other Yautja tribes. Yautja is the proper name of the predator. So he does slot in very well to both tribes, I think. Now moving on to the back, as I previously mentioned, this is the sword holster. It's very basic, nothing really to write home about, but it's still a nice feature nonetheless, that you can have him almost like a samurai, having his sword on his back. Now, another cool feature is that he also has this, which is the net gun that a lot of the other predators feature, particularly the city hunter, as you saw in the film. He has a fondness for the net gun. This doesn't come off. This is attached to this back part here. Now, I don't really understand why they've done this. Maybe it was a design feature that they went with, because if they tried to actually have it so you could slot this in, it might have problems with, say, the sword holster. But I still think there was a missed opportunity to maybe include the net gun. Now, something else you can also see here is that he has a spine. Now, I think this is a trophy spine, which is attached right to his back. And I think that's really cool. You don't see many predators that actually use the spine of their trophy as an armour piece like this. I think that's absolutely incredible how they've done that. Now, move around to the front. His armour. So, as you can see, as I'm moving this round, there's a lot of tubing, which does play a key part in this figure, and I will also get onto the arms and my reasoning for this as well. So I love the armour. The armour's, again, another one of my favourites. I don't know if the camera's picking this up very well, but it's very chipped in terms of his paint, which shows that he is an experienced hunter. He has been in a lot of fights, so the natural blue of his armour is now washed away, revealing almost like a rust-like colour underneath, which I think is pretty cool. You know, it shows, you know, he's not afraid of a battle, but he doesn't want to renew his armour because his armour is what he is. He doesn't want to replace that. Moving on to his shoulders, I do find that, especially predators that have got this sort of armour on the top and the shoulder pads, it does limit their posability because you can't really lift the arms up without disfiguring these shoulder blades. So, again, something to think about. He doesn't have a lot of posability. He's a very static figure just because of the armour that he has up here. Now, the armour is just simple plastic. It does move, it does give, but not very much. Not when you compare it to the other predators who maybe have minimalistic armour up on their chests. Now, moving down onto the arms, what's quite interesting about this figure is that he doesn't feature the wrist blades or the computer, as you can see. They're very bare, very basic wrist gauntlets, which I suppose it does fit, because if he did have his wrist blades, it will get in the way of his blade. But the computer is an interesting choice. Whether this part here is actually a computer or if he is actually controlling a lot of his features from his biomask. Now, one of the key features of the Predator is his self-destruct. Now, my theory is, I'm not sure if it's correct, but that he uses the biomass to activate the self-destruct in his armour. Now, as you can see, there are little red parts on his armour. Who knows if we ever saw a movie or a series or a fan film of the Predator, these might light up during the self-destruct sequence and it actually explodes from here rather than this. So, moving down, got the belt. Now, the belt's quite static. You know, you can't really... You can move, but again, he's very stiff here. Something I just noticed, actually, he's almost got like a Predator biomask right here. Again, I don't know if the camera's picking this up very well. Which is a cool little feature. I mean, NECA do put a lot of time and effort into their designs of the Predator. It is their best-selling line as well. So I love how it looks like armour. From the little engravings and just the texture of it, it looks the part. Now going around to the back, again, it's the same all around. It's the same sort of style all the way around, so it fits his design. Now moving on to his thighs, you've got, I'm actually not too sure what this is, whether it's just a leather piece of decorative armour or if it's a scale of a beast that he's slain. Remains to be seen, but I do love just the texture of this and just how it looks, and it does break the character up a little bit and allow for a little bit more breathing space rather than all of this armour. And then on the left hand side, he's got this leather pouch, which I think if this was made into an actual Predator and they used this design, I think this might be where he keeps spare weapons or a healing pack. Or maybe how he cleans his sword, we don't know. So moving on to his legs, he's got his knee pads, which again are actually quite scuffed. Shows that he has had a lot of battles and he came out victorious. And his legs, so his leg gauntlets here, very textured, same metallic blue as the rest of his armour. Nothing really to write home about, really. There is a little spot here, actually. Now, I think this is actually a reused cast from the City Hunter. If I just bring the City Hunter over. Yeah. Very similar cast. But if I take this piece out, you can see there's that same notch. So I think NECA have just reused the leg armour and just beefed it out a little bit, which is fine. Reuse the assets whenever you can, and it does fit in with the Lost Tribe. A lot of the Lost Tribe Predators do look similar in their armour design. So another thing I just want to cover is his skin. I quite like this. I really like the skin of the Predator. Very good paint job. NECA's done a fantastic job of the netting and the actual skin. It's quite reptilian. The green and the sort of yellow-green skin, which again fits in with his head as well. So I love that. That's something else I think I pointed out. I just want to bring this up again. He does have a shuriken here. Now, whether this is the same shuriken as the accessory or if it's a separate one remains to be seen, but it's just cool how they have it just so that it's just there. So you can just see it. So, some of you might be asking, how do I display my figures? Now, as you can see, I don't display them in the box. I know some people might say, oh, you're losing the value in them. I don't buy these figures to be kept in their boxes for resale value. I buy them because I want to display them. However, I do display this guy with his sword. And I prefer him with the sword. I think he just looks a lot more badass with the sword in his hand. I also have it so that he's reaching out, going to grab, which... in fact, that's something actually. This sword, whilst it fits in this hand, it is a little bit flimsy. So it's quite difficult to get it so that it's stable. Whether one of the other hands will fix that, maybe if you use that one, it might stay in place better. But for my displaying purposes, I think that looks fine. And I also have it so his plasma caster's out just a little bit. I don't display him with the lights on. Now that's just for power. I don't want to waste the batteries on these. But yeah, that's how I display him. I also display him amongst his clan brothers, which I will be showing at the end of this video just to see how he looks. I also have the two Hot Toy figures positioned behind them.
So there you have it. My review on the Ultimate Armoured Lost Predator from NECA. Overall, I love this figure. From his futuristic design, which slots into his role in the Rogue Space Tribe, as well as his name honouring the name given to the Lost Tribe, which, interesting fact, was given that name due to most of the Predator costumes becoming lost after production had finished. Hence why they are often referred to as the Lost Tribe. Now, as of this video being released, there is currently 6 Predators, I think, in the Ultimate Predator line, and there are 5 more due to be released. So if you like these review videos, I will be more than happy to do reviews on the other Ultimate Predators. I do plan on getting all of them to get the full collection. I even got Golden Angel, as I have shown in the video, mainly because I want to have a young and an older version of the Elder Predator. Can't have them without the other sort of thing. Yeah, overall, solid figure. Couple of flaws, but you always get flaws with a figure. I think NECA done a beautiful job with this, considering the fact that you don't really see Borg in the film. He's in the background, but he's very, very in the background, so you can't see a lot of his details. So I think NECA have done an amazing job just capturing the figure and capturing his character, and even making him part of the Rogue Space Tribe was quite a cool thing to do, actually. His backstory is that he actually isn't very fond of the Rogue Space Tribe. He thinks that they're a little bit too barbaric, but that's a story for another day. I'll probably cover that with the laser shot Predator. But yeah, so with that, this has been Trophy Hunter. Welcome to the war.